Sakamoto Tatsuma is one of the most beloved characters in Gintama fandom and dare I say anime fandom. I myself consider him one of the funniest and most compelling characters, and I've always wished he had more screen time. Yet with his lack of screen time in mind, how is it that a character like Sakamoto has endured to be one of our favorites even though he's had nowhere near the amount of screen time as Gintoki, Katsura, and other fan favorites? I think this is all to do with how he's written in relation to his real-life counterpart, Sakamoto Ryoma. And of course, a lot of credit has to be given to his voice actor Shinichiro Miki for his stellar portrayal of him in the anime. But I believe that Sakamoto Tatsuma has this undeniable charisma to him because of how similar he is to Ryoma, ideologically, as he seems to share a lot of what made Ryoma popular, just in a very exaggerated way. What both Sakamotos have in common is that they have this staunch belief in progress and adaptability. Sakamoto Ryoma chose to embrace trade and explore the world to learn about what Japan was missing out on, rather than rebel outright and fight a losing battle. He went on to create Japan's first modern corporation in the Kaientai. Sakamoto can even be considered a founding father of modern Japan when you consider how Japan has progressed since the mid-1800s. Several visionaries such as Sakamoto Ryoma and Katsura Kogoro inspired several people to change Japan from within to be able to survive what seemed to be an inevitable consumption of their nation by Western powers. Japan went on to be one of the strongest nations militarily and became an economic and industrial behemoth, going as far as defeating Russia in a war in 1905. However, when Japan once again faced disastrous odds in losing World War II, having 2 nuclear bombs dropped over Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and facing an American occupation, the nation instead chose to press forward and focus on building its economy, eventually going on to become one of the most innovative and prosperous nations in the world, gaining the respect and even envy of a lot of the international community. People like Sakamoto Ryoma embody the spirit of modern Japan, which has survived on having a focus solely on the future, on always progressing. Sakamoto Tatsuma shares many of these same qualities. He's seen a crazy amount of adversity, but always had his eye on the big picture, on moving forward. He was on the losing side of the Joey War, but instead of staying in the nation to rebel like Katsura and Takasugi, he chose to explore the reaches of space, to trade, attain financial stability, and learn about the universe. Sakamoto was not hung up on the defeat during the Joey War. This doesn't mean he didn't care, but he chose to embrace a different method to recover from it. And that was embracing the new world the Tendosho had introduced to use it to his advantage and better himself, his corporation, and hopefully Japan itself. And when Sakamoto suffered a terrible injury to his sword hand during the war, he switched to a gun and became proficient at it. When he was captured and arrested by the Chidori pirates, instead of lamenting his luck, he was able to see the good in Mutsu even as she had him detained. And he still had his eye on the future as he saw the ship he was captured in as a perfect place to start the Kaientai, and these incidents once again shows that Sakamoto never lets adversity get him down. He's always ready to change his approach to be able to keep on moving forward. Aside from his belief in progress, Sakamoto is all in all a good guy and impossible to dislike. You can sometimes wonder, how does a guy who's suffered so much trauma develop such a contagious laugh? How does he keep smiling and cracking jokes? And I think that's another thing that makes Sakamoto such a great character to watch on screen. He doesn't harbor anger like Takasugi, and he isn't lethargic like Gintoki. Given he didn't witness Shoyo's execution like the rest of them, but I feel this is mostly down to Sakamoto himself, and his nature doesn't allow him to be stifled by any kind of obstacle. In a way, this is Sakamoto's own form of rebellion, to laugh and smile in the face of these terrible circumstances, maintaining that he's in control of his future and his life. And much like Katsura and Shigeshige, Sakamoto absolutely oozes leadership qualities. When the chips are down, he's as inspiring and selfless as they come. His outgoing personality is not all he has going for him, and his enemies shouldn't be fooled by that. He risks his life for his crew and those close to him, and he doesn't take shit from anybody. So that's my take on Sakamoto. I hope you all enjoyed it. Some video ideas I have for the future are a new tournament arc video on Christmas Day featuring new characters from the priority arc and previously excluded characters. And I'm also planning to mash the latest few Gintama episodes into a review. And let me know if there are any characters you want me to discuss for future character-focused episodes, or if there's any aspect of Gintama or anime in general you want me to cover or continue covering. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate the support. Follow me on Twitter if you like my content enough, and I'll see you on the next one.